Hey friends, Theanthogenic here. So tonight we are going to have our wonderful and illustrious moderator, Eric Easy, doing our Q&A because I am just about to head out for LSD Dream. I'm really excited about it. I will be sure to share some pictures. But I wanted to go over some inoculation stuff with you guys tonight. So I'm doing this open air. I don't have my laminar flow hood on. We're going to be covering Agar inoculation. If you're going to be doing that with a bag, these are from P-Funk at Mycology Simplified. This is the only grain bags I personally use, not because I have anything against anyone else's, but they always work. If you're going to be doing agar inoculation on a bag like this, you're going to want zip ties or a bag sealer. I have mine pre-closed, ready to just zip. When you're using Uncle Ben's tech, you're going to want to prepare your tape in advance, and for that method we'll be using a hole punch. So I'm just going to tear some strips of tape. I'm going to hang them off the edge of my flow hood up here. I'm going to be doing so 2 strips for each side, 1 for each side, and then 1 to cover my inoculation point. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up my hole punch. This is for Uncle Ben's tech. I'm just heating this up now. You know what? I'm going to go in order because I don't want to confuse anyone. All right. So the first thing we're going to cover, and this is like super, super easy, is we're going to do just a straight up injection port inoculation method. So you've got a syringe of liquid culture, you've tested it on agar, and you want to get a bag pregnant. So you really don't have to do much for this. It's really super easy. I have alcohol on this paper towel. I'm just going to wipe down this port. And I have my syringe here. I'm just going to grab a needle. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is just drop a few drops of this. Just kind of clear that. Probably should have shaken it up before. There we go. You don't have to sterilize the needle when you're inoculating if it's a new needle that you just opened. Those are pre-sterilized. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the needle straight in, and you want to try to get 2 to 3 cc's total. This is if you're using a 3-pound grain bag like I am. So I'm going to shoot this right in the middle. And then I'm going to, this is my 5-point inoculation method. I'm going to shoot up. I'm going to turn it to the side. I'm going to turn it to the other side. So left, then right. I'm going to go down. And I'm done. So go ahead and cap your syringe afterwards. You want to let a little air in this bag, enough so you can shake it up really good. Now, if you're inoculating with spores, you don't want to actually shake your bag up. You want your spores to be able to meet each other and have babies and colonize. So, but this is liquid culture I'm using. So I'm actually able to shake it, and the better you shake this, the faster it's gonna go. So I'm not gonna like really in depth on camera go over this, but I mean, I fully just I shake the crap out of it. And I can't speak for a lot of other grain vendors because like I said, I really love Mycology Simplified, but be careful depending on the quality of the bag, how rough you shake it. But I know that with these, I can get pretty rough. I've never broken one. After you shake it up, you want to make sure to let all the grain fall back into the bag. And then don't forget to label your bag. My marker is going dead, but I'm writing the name of the strain, and I'm going to write the date. And that bag is done. Set it anywhere. I usually let mine colonize at room temperature. It truly doesn't matter. It's so easy. Okay, so next what we're going to do is Uncle Ben's inoculation. The first thing I like to do with an Uncle Ben's bag is take the bag like this, and you'll see there are 2 holes in the side here. Go ahead and cut those. You're not cutting the bag, you're just cutting through these 2 little holes here. This is going to allow you to have a better view of the bag. I think that this is a great method, and I'm really grateful for the 90-second mycology kind of introduced this and really made it more popular. I do wish though that you had more viewing room with it, but so this is a way to have more viewing room. So you're gonna push that rice down and break it up. And you wanna go ahead and push it all the way down to the bottom. And you can stretch out this viewing window like this. Get that way down there. Now, once you inoculate or introduce air to it, you're actually it's gonna be easier to push that down. I never shake these because sometimes there's contamination in the seal. I mean, it's food safe, it's not sterile. So, all right. So the method that I like to use is actually the hole punch method. But before I do that, what I'm gonna do is get a fresh paper towel. And I'm going to sanitize this bag really well. 90 Second actually sent me this bag of rice. So this literally came from 90 Second Mycology. When I was doing the Dirty South raffle, he sent me a bag of his rice that he likes. Okay. So I'm going to flame sterilize my hole punch. I see there's a piece of plastic in it from the last time I did this, so take that out. You want to sterilize it all over, like down on the bottom, under this little bracket here, the punch up area. I got this hole punch for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. It has rubber grips, so I don't have to worry about burning myself. It's really great. It works well. All right. So you're going to work quickly. You're going to want to work really quickly when you're doing this. So, there we go. I don't usually wait to let mine cool off because it just goes through the bag easier, but that's, you know, a personal preference thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch right through those two holes. Be careful when you're pulling that off if there's any left that you don't get your dirty fingers in it. Go ahead and tape over that all the way around front to back. And then you're going to punch your other side. Make sure there's no rice up there. Tape it around to the front to cover the holes. Make sure that the tape is not stuck together, that those holes are separated. Perfect. Okay. So then the next thing you're going to do is grab the syringe that you want to use, and we're going to go through the same thing we did before. Actually going to just sterilize right on decide where you want to inoculate through, where the point is. I'm going to go through the center of this leaf on the bag. Get a needle ready. And take your liquid culture, give it a good shake. Do not shake them by the handle because this will just go whoop and fly right off. You're gonna just shake it, shake it, shake it, holding on to this too. All right, let out just a couple drops like this. Okay, and put your needle on. We're going to use the same 5-point inoculation method we did last time, but we are only going to try to use 1 cc. So just a little bit. I like to, with Uncle Ben's, shove it way down there in the front. And that's where I do the majority of my liquid, is because you want to see it, you want it to get down to the bottom, ideally, so you can see that there's good growth. Oops, should have ripped my tape before. Try not to touch the center of the tape with your dirty hands or your gloves. Try to just touch the edges. I like to double tape over that. Put the cap on. Okay, perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be an Agar inoculation of a grain bag. With Agar, or Agar, whatever people, you know what, potato. Alrighty, so what you're gonna need for this is a scalpel. I don't even bother to put the handle on my scalpel because it's not necessary. You're gonna wanna wipe down your bag. We're actually not gonna be using the inoculation port on this. So I'm actually going to use a scalpel blade, and you can flame sterilize this after you use it instead of using a different one. But I'm going to use one to cut my bag open. I'm not going to open those yet though. So I've got my agar plate. It's somewhere around here. Here it is. I'm going to be inoculating some cyanescens. This one. Got some good clean growth there. You want to not have the plate open for longer than you have to. But go ahead and take the tape off of it now. And so it's ready. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my blade. And I'm going to cut the piece of agar that I want to use. I'm going to try not to talk too much while I do this because I don't want to breathe on it. I'm not taking the agar out of the plate yet. I'm just cutting it. I just don't want to breathe into it. I'm taking all but one small piece because I want to be able to transfer that so I can, and I don't like to get around the edges because contamination, that's where it happens usually. So I'm just going to take this part out of the center. You can flame sterilize your scalpel blade now, or you can use a new one. We're going to use this to cut the bag open just to make sure that we're practicing sterile technique. I'm just wiping that extra alcohol off of it. Okay, make sure you cut it enough that you have room to work and drop your agar in. And flame sterilize your blade again really quick, or get a different one because we're going to use that to extract it from the Petri dish. I'm just going to pull the whole thing out. This is risky business what I'm doing here like this. Okay. So optimally, you want to be wearing gloves if you're going to be risk touching inside the bag. I'm kind of in a hurry tonight, so I'm just like, you know. And honestly, I find that contamination isn't usually, in my instances, from any sort of technique that I use, but rather, I don't know. I'm going to tell you that I really feel like your vibrations have a lot more to do with your success with growing mushrooms than your sterility. I don't get contamination, and I am not that careful, except with the liquid culture products that I ship out. If it's something that I'm just like growing for me, or you know, I just don't worry. So I'm zip tying this bag, and then I'm actually going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut off the remnants of the extra part of the bag here. Right, and you can double zip tie it if you want, if you're like really cautious. Just make sure that you're doing it. You don't want to do it. You want this filter patch to still be open. So then you're going to want to shake this up really well. When you can see this agar puck on the bottom of your bag, you probably have shaken it enough. You can use your fingers and squash it in and massage it into the bag. You want to try to distribute it that as good as you can in the bag. And that is 3 types of inoculating on grain. The one that we didn't cover is jars. So jars is going to be exactly the same as what it is with the bag, except, so what I like to do for my jar method, and this is another YouTube video of mine that you can watch, is I like to cover them with Tyvek, which is like those post office envelopes are made of that material. And then I put the ring over the Tyvek, and I like to use a sterile scalpel to cut a little square in it. and drop my agar in and then cover it with micropore tape and then shake the crap out of it until you can see the agar in the bottom of the jar of grain. You haven't shaken it enough. So you want to make sure that you see that, because sometimes it'll try to stick to the lid, to that Tyvek, and that's not what we want. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. So what we'll be doing next week is just doing a quick go over on shake and break, and if we want to, shake and break, the benefits, you know, the drawbacks. So that'll be next Wednesday, and I will be back then. I love you guys. I'm wishing you peace and happiness and abundance. Have the best night ever. Miss you.